Everybody, welcome. Hey, look at who I got here with me today. We're on the beach over in Los Barillas, hanging out on the beach with surf fishing guru Bill Varney. Say hi to everybody, Bill.
So glad to be here and online and just at the beach here. It's fantastic. What a beautiful day.
Oh my God, look at where we are, gang. Look at this. We're hanging out at the bar. Nobody's here. It's kind of gnarly. Nobody's here. We're hanging out. The only thing missing here is you. You all should be here. I know that you guys, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, but look at, you could be here in 2 hours from wherever you are. You could be standing here on this beach.
Absolutely.
You could be hanging out with me and Bill Varney.
Yep.
There's no reason you're not here except that there's a guy running the country that's decided to make everything cost 60% more. But, you get what you vote for.
Sure.
Pretty much,
And I'm telling you, come down here. Dave will take you fishing in the morning till noon. You take a little siesta, and I'll take you surf fishing in the evening, and we'll get you so worn out that you'll want somebody to rub your feet at the end of the day.
But it's Deckhand Sports Friday. We always talk about Deckhand Sports. We got a cool little video to show you a little bit later in the show. And today we have a super special guest coming to us all the way from Hawaii.
Wow.
Captain Jerry's going to come on here and talk to us about fishing in Hawaii for a little while Bill and I have to sit here in this crappy little spot with this beautiful blue water behind us. And we're down in Mexico, gang. It's a phenomenal day down here. Nobody's here. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense, right? It's May. It's May 17th, and there's no one here.
It's absolutely beautiful. This time of year, normally it's very crowded down here. I mean, it's very temperate. It's like 80 to 85 degrees during the day, probably 70 to 75 at night. Absolutely excellent fishing. Where is everybody?
I don't know. They're I don't know.
We wish you were here with us.
You guys got to get down here. There's nothing to be afraid of, gang. The cartel would never allow that kind of garbage that's going on in America to happen down here.
Absolutely.
And I see Mr. Jerry's joining us. So, hey, why don't we jump over there and see what he's got going on? Mr. Jerry, welcome to the show, sir. What's up,
Dave?
Cap?
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's such a trip. I'm so glad that you reached out. And, your show is a great show. It has so much information for guys. And, I see your subscription base just exploding with so many people just joining every day. And it's a great thing. And thank you for doing this for guys like us and for the fishing community. You're awesome, bro. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Jerry. Yeah, I know you kind of grew up in Southern California. You have kind of an idea of my family and where we came from and what we're up to. But,
absolutely.
I am very happy that you reached out to me and we're willing to come on the show. I know it's super. You're in Hawaii right now, or are you in?
Yeah.
It's really early over there.
It's 9 o'clock. It's not that early. we get up at 4 to go fishing, so it's it's nothing.
Right, half the fishing day's over already.
Yeah, pretty much. That morning bite is gone.
So this is my buddy Bill Varney. He's usually on the show.
Great to meet you.
Great to meet you too, Jerry.
And we're both super excited to hear about Hawaii and how you got into the fishing thing, Jerry. So why don't you tell everybody your story about from the very beginning when you got into fishing, because we try to promote taking kids fishing and how important it is. It basically saved Bill and I's life.
Absolutely.
You know what? That's such a huge point you bring up is exposing kids to fishing. We live on an island here, and before I got here, obviously there's kids that just they don't have any exposure to this stuff. And there's got to be a way for guys like you and me to bring these kids in and show them. Now, we've done some of that with Malama Charters, and it's amazing how many kids on this island have never been out fishing. You would think Hawaiians, right? It's a natural thing. But no, I mean, it's awful. So it's up to us to bring these kids in and show them such an amazing thing. It's like, give a man a fish, eat for a day, teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime, right? And so that's an important skill, especially over here. to be able to, one, feed your family, and two, just to have some type of way to get out there and just clear your brain, you know? And for me, I was like 3.5, 4 years old the first time my dad took me out. And I don't know if you saw some of the pictures I sent you, but I have a picture of me holding a little bluegill from Big Bear Lake. And I tell you what, I was like 4, right? I still remember that day like it was yesterday. That's how much impact it had on me. So imagine if it did me and you guys, what it's going to do for these kids today. And you know, I was talking to Bomb Boy Yanez. I don't know if you know who Bomb Boy is, but
Oh, very well.
Yeah. So
there you are. We got your picture up. I don't know.
Oh, that's it. That's the one. My dad's little 12-foot Valco aluminum boat with that 9.9 Evinrude on the back. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's it. Yeah. So he took me. That was the first time, and ever since then, it was like, oh my God, I'd bug the hell out of him to take me fishing.
Isn't that amazing? Just to think, gang, those of you that are listening, and we have quite a few people watching right now, to think back, Jerry remembers not only the fish, he remembers the motor.
Yeah.
Because as little kids, we looked at it was such a bitching thing to get to go fishing.
It
and
was
everything mattered.
It was like going to Disneyland. Honestly, it was that, it had that much impact on me. And I'd be as excited to go fishing as I would going to Disneyland, you know, at that age.
And you smell gasoline and oil today.
Oh, that two-stroke outboard and the sound of it. And oh my God. I mean, to this day, it's just embedded in my brain.
And that's why we talk so much, Jerry, about taking children fishing, because I'm going to just throw a bunch of teachers under the bus right now. They're teaching the wrong thing. They're teaching children to not go outside. They're teaching them to not be in the element. They're teaching them not to get in the sun, like Bill and I are in the sun right now. That is like the worst thing you could teach these children. And on the same note, on the other side, they complain that the children are playing video games all day.
Right.
You and I and Bill, we would way rather go out here and fish than ever look at a video game.
Absolutely.
When we were kids, there was first of all, there was no video game. Well, there was Atari Pong.
Yeah, there was Atari Pong, and then later on, you know, the Pac-Man and that kind of thing. So
really,
but pinball machines, you know, we did pinball machines. So
only when we didn't get to go fishing.
Right, exactly. So the reason I brought up Bomb Boy is because, you know, I was out at this the sport fishing show there in Irvine, and we were talking. He says, "Yeah, kids nowadays," he says, "they just have no direction. And they're staring at their phones and they're just lost." And I said, yeah, that's why it's up to us to reach out to these kids and show them some of this. So, you know, we're trying to have, you know, beach cleanup days, and, you know, we're going to try and expose some of these kids to fishing days going into the summertime when the weather over here is a little bit better. And it's just critical, not only to give back to the community, but to show the younger generation that there's more to life than sitting on a couch looking at a screen all day. You know, it's awful.
And you know, Jerry, too, it's like, as you said, just that one experience in your life turned you on to something that you had a passion for forever. And that's the thing. If you don't have that one experience, if you don't have somebody who can take you out to have that first experience, because I remember mine, Dave and I talked about it, sitting on my dad's lap on the Redondo Pier catching a bird. You know? That was it. And if you have kids looking at the phone and all this stuff, doing Zoom at school, and they're never going to be out. Remember when we were kids and they'd say, we're taking you on a field trip at school? You'd be so excited. You couldn't wait for me to get to the beach or down to the river or wherever we're going.
Right. So. Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why, it builds character, and it expands their outlook on, you know, on things that they can do. And it doesn't cost much to go fishing, you know, so there's a lot of families here that are very poor, you know, a lot of local families, and they just don't have a lot to do. So most of their days, you know, weekends and stuff are spent either, you know, at home, or they will go to the beach. They'll get a pop-up, throw it on the beach and go along the coastline and, you know, maybe make a barbecue or something like that. But, you know, for a lot of these other kids, they just don't have that exposure, and it's unfortunate. So it's, you know, again, we can't reiterate how important it is for the new society to be exposed to fishing. I mean, my gosh, It's something for centuries that the native Hawaiians have done. And it's actually kind of gotten lost over the decades, just because of financial changes in the environment, changes in society, and again, I can't stress enough, you guys are on the right track as far as trying to push getting these kids out and fishing. And one thing, it's interesting, there's some other charter boats that have age limits, and for us, I really don't. And it's because, hey, let's get these kids exposed. Let's throw a life vest on them. What's the worst that can happen? They fall overboard, you go grab them. Okay. I hate to say it, but honestly, it's as important as the reading, writing, and arithmetic, as far as I'm concerned.
Which they don't teach in schools anymore anyway.
I know.
So
It's
might as
awful.
well teach fishing.
Yeah.
Another thing, Jerry, you just said, people that are watching, you need to understand, in order for a child to fall over on a boat, they have to work very, very hard
Yep.
and very, very diligently to fall over the side. I've been running boats for 49 years.
Yep.
Boats that carry 100 people and boats that carry 5-6 people. And we never lost anyone over the side. So when he said that, he was saying it kind of trying to be funny, but you don't have to worry. It's not going to happen.
No.
And then Bill Varney, he teaches a way to fish that really costs nothing.
Right.
Surf fishing, and you guys in Hawaii wide open.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
There is no reason to not take children fishing. And if you're having a problem financially trying to figure out, give me a call at 949-374-0786. My family owns the largest family-owned sport fishing operation in America.
Yeah.
We will make sure that you get to take your child fishing. I promise.
Absolutely.
Don't use money as an excuse, because that's not an excuse.
I know, exactly. And, we've had a number of kids on our boat, 4 years old. And I love to take video and pictures of them, because they're just like this wide-eyed, like it's this incredible experience to them. And I love being a part of that experience for these kids, because it's something they won't forget. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, the three of us are living proof that because we all, we talk about it, we all go back to that first day. I was 3, you were 3.5.
Yep.
Bill's never been young, so
we're back in the early 1800s.
Right.
Oh my God!
They created sand.
The chuck wagon days.
That's right. We fished with Spam in those days.
Right. No, you were saying. Oh, I'm sorry. You were saying, surf fishing. Oh my God, I can't. The countless trips, Seal Beach, Bolsa Chica, where my dad would take me at night. And we'd go surf fishing, and we'd get all kinds of stuff, surf perch, we'd get sand bass, halibut, and it was just, you never knew what you were going to get. And we'd go out on those times when grunion were running, and grab grunion, and what does that take? A bucket, right?
Exactly. Very, very simple. Just get down there.
Yeah, just get down there. And so, again, it's part of life that people should experience, and it's not for everybody, right? But for those who don't know, at least try it out, and it could be something that they could refer back to when they're going through a really tough time in life. I mean, think about it. We all have crappy times that we go through, and you go out fishing, and it just kind of just clears your mind, man. It's an amazing thing. It really is therapeutic.
But you know what, Jerry? It is for everyone, but. And I have a whole section on my website on the proper way to take children fishing. Yeah. Most people blow it. And if you blow it the first time, you make it the most negative thing possible. Here's how they blow. I'm just going to throw this out there while you're, and I know today is about you, but I'm going to say this. Gang, if you tell your child they can't bring their phone or their iPad, if you tell them that they can't have candy or sodas, if you tell them a whole bunch of negative things before you leave that they can't do, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Why would you do that to your child?
Exactly.
The day you take them fishing, and I don't care, and have all the moms call me. The day you take your child fishing, they can have their telephone. and they can sit and play video games while you try to figure out what to do because you're not a member of my website. You don't know how to do it. So now
Yeah.
you're out there eating boogers and trying to figure out how to catch a fish.
Right.
Let them have the phone so they can play games. Let them eat a candy bar. Let them have a soda. It will not kill them, I promise you.
Yeah.
And you know what? But if you set it all up negative to begin with, they don't want to go.
That's a great point. That is really a great point because, you can't take away what their world is. And their world is the phones and the candy and all this stuff, right? Just incorporate it, right? That's a really, really good point.
Yeah. Bill, you, me, we're not going anywhere without this.
Yeah.
We're just not. We're hooked. We're
That's
all
it.
hooked to it. This is our leash.
Yeah.
And we could be in the middle of a fight of a bitchin' fish and it goes beep, beep. And we're like, hold on, I got to check my phone. We're guilty of it too.
Yeah,
So
that's true. That's
you
true.
can't tell a child you can't have the phone while we all show up with the phone. I mean, that's the number one thing I think where people blow it. They set up too much negative before you even leave.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
My parents blew it on vegetables for me because they used to tell me if I eat my vegetables, I can have a prize. So right away, I thought vegetables suck.
Yeah.
So the reason why they're throwing this prize out if I eat this garbage.
Yeah.
And that should have never been done that way. And I did it to my kids too. It's like, oh, if you eat your vegetables, you get a present.
Right.
It's like, what do you mean? No. If you eat your steak, you can have some of these bitchin' vegetables.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
And you always got to think,
Yeah.
the children are looking at us, Jerry, and I know it's hard to imagine, but Bill Varney, Dave Hansen, Jerry, we're their heroes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
whatever
that's true.
we say is going to totally affect what's going on.
Mhm.
So if they they're fishing with Bill Varney on the beach and they catch a little bitty piling perch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That has to be the best perch in the whole world. Never negative. When the fish comes on your boat, it can't be a negative fish. That's stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Piling perch, that reminds me, my dad and I, he used to take me out of San Pedro all the time. And, back then, rules were a little laxed. You could go do things that you definitely can't do nowadays. You'd get shot nowadays. But we used to go up underneath the pilings with our little boat. Our little boat would fit inside, and we'd fish for piling perch in there. And then we'd get the mussels, drag them up off of the pilings, and we'd use that for bait. And I can remember just, opening those things up, putting it on the hook, and then dropping it down. And, oh, there's a nice one, And again, it's just experiences we've all had when we were younger, and it's just, it was great. I can tell you a million of them, and, but yeah, I mean, it's really important. Again, just like you're saying, these kids, they need to be exposed to it, but just don't take away their world. Just incorporate, just bring them into your world of fishing, right?
Absolutely.
Show them your passion, and hopefully they'll just pick it up and understand how wonderful it is. It's always better to start out and say how great it is, and if it wasn't great for them, then you'll know later that they maybe wasn't so great. But to start out negatively and then move into the positive is very difficult way.
It is. So you want to stay on that even field there, and make it good from the beginning, for sure. So
you started out Southern California. Now you live in Hawaii. What part of Hawaii do you live in?
We live on the big island of Hawaii, and we're on the Hilo side. So we're on the windward side. If you know where Kona is, most people know where Kona is. We're literally on the opposite side of the island. And so, it's where I landed. Came here for the first time in the year 2000. Absolutely fell in love with it and said, someday I'm going to retire here. And so I just made it as one of my goals. And in 2017, bought our current house that we're in. And in 2020, I finally pulled the plug and said, no, I'm done. I'm done with California, and let's go do this. And it was kind of a tough change because I still have family over there. I've got family in Oceanside and Laguna and Northern California and near Sacramento. Got my girls and my grandkids, but it's just a matter of just
hold on
change.
1 second.
Yeah.
Is that your boat? Is that your boat?
Yeah,
right
that's the Jovan Lee. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's a 32-foot Radovich that was built in Wilmington, and we talked about this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and it came over here, lived most of its life over on Oahu, and it did some long lining and fish for tuna over here. And then I bought it in 2018, the tail end of 2018, and has had it ever since. And yeah, it's been a great boat. It handles the water over here like a dream. It's a Cadillac, I tell you. So I'm really happy to have her. We did a complete rebuild a year and a half ago. We started, and had some bad luck with it, unfortunately. I was ready to come over and retire and start full-time on, at least my end, full-time on charter fishing. And we had an incident where a drunk driver drove through the parking lot and literally landed on my boat in the harbor and destroyed the back end of it.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, just awful.
That's a freak accident.
Freak accident. I know, I'm like one of 3 in the whole country that's happened to.
That's it right there.
That's it.
Oh
Isn't that
my
crazy?
gosh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Can
So
you
it
imagine?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So we ended up doing a full rebuild on the boat, new decks, new tanks, new everything. The only thing that's the same is the power plant. It's a 3208 Caterpillar with a 502 marine gear. They were in great shape, so we just left it. And yeah, so anyways, you know, we turned lemons into lemonade and just bit the bullet. And I sold a bunch of my stocks and said, screw it, let's just rebuild this thing and get it going. And that's her in the yard over in Kona.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That is the last place you would expect a car to land on your boat.
Right?
Is
Right.
at the dock.
I had so many people telling me, man, this is a sign. You shouldn't be doing this. You just turn your back and walk away, take the insurance money and go do something else. And I said, it's just too easy to do that. I don't give up that easy. And whether I'm stupid or persistent or whatever, a knucklehead, I said, no, I'm gonna make this happen. So I have to say it's been quite a challenge, but I've just stayed focused on what I wanted to get done, and we're making it happen. Definitely making it happen. So
I got a few questions about
yeah.
fishing there. When you guys, I saw an anchor on the bow of the boat in the first picture Elliot showed, had that anchor hanging on the bow. Do you guys anchor on spots? Do you guys fish for smaller fish sometimes, or is it all just trolling? There it is. There's the anchor. That's when you know they're
a grappling hook.
Yeah, that's how we
Yeah.
do it. Same with Mexico's, because everything's so jagged. You're not really going to use a nice anchor because there's a pretty good chance you're never going to see it again.
Right. That's a rebar anchor that we build over here. And it's because of all the lava and the it's just basically rock. It's solid rock up underneath there. And we carry 1,000 feet of line, and mostly if we want to do some bottom fishing for any length of time, we'll throw that down, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. We also have parachutes that we throw out to hold our position if we got a really serious drift going on. But yeah, I mean, we don't really anchor that often. It's just a lot of work, and obviously your chances of losing it are pretty high.
Yeah, they are.
And do you use chain also? Do you have a
yeah, there's chain. There's we've got about maybe 50 feet of chain that goes on that thing. So.
Do you know a guy named Greg Lortz?
I do. He's my good buddy.
He's telling us that he painted the blue on your
boat.
Yeah,
good old Greg. He drove over to Kona and helped us do some bottom paint for a few days. He's a good guy. He spent a lot of time over there. It was a crappy job scraping the bottom and then repainting, but man, he's right there with us.
It looks good. He did a good job.
Greg, thanks for watching the show today. I appreciate it. Gang, I want to tell you all real quick. It's Deckhand Sports Friday. We always talk about something to do with Deckhand Sports. We're going to show you a really cool little video, and then we'll get back with Jerry in just a second here. Watch this. So, Greg, did you see that kill bag? Hello. Did you see that kill bag?
Oh yeah, I saw that on the when you were interviewing Paulie from
Yeah.
Wicked Tuna. That thing is cool. That's the first bag I saw with the bottom with a cradle, so the fish don't actually fit on the bottom of the bag. So you have some ice up underneath it. That's a brilliant idea. That's great.
They're not sloshing around.
Yeah.
But what Dave Farron did, the owner of Deckhand Sports, is he thought of everything possible. You know how hard it is to get into the old bags where you need two hands just to
Yeah.
unzip it, and we always have a fish in our hand. So it's
Yep.
like, got to ask one of the passengers, hey, can you help me unzip this? This bag unzips and zips up with one hand. The really cool thing about it too, Jerry, is the way that he made these walls on the bag. There's no condensation. So if you
Wow.
take this bag and throw it in your car full of ice and fish, he guarantees you no leak. So there's no leakage at all. And then there's no condensation. If you look at all these little straps that Elliot's showing you right now, those are all
Yep.
tie downs.
Yeah.
Which every boat, as you, a fisherman, Bill and I, we know every boat we go on is different.
Mhm.
So
Right.
you don't always have the right place to tie the bag down. He's thought of everything possible, and he's got them up to keep big enough to carry a big tuna,
Yeah.
or small enough. Like we were using the little bags this year for carrying our lobsters off the boat at the end of the night. Like my good friend Jeanette's watching right now. She had her lobsters in the bag, took it down to her house. They were still alive in the bag. She's also carried ice up and down the California coast.
Yeah.
No water, carrying it around.
That's amazing. I mean,
So
well,
he thought about
most-
everything.
yeah,
See how
most
it's
of the
shaped like an
bags.
envelope? The way
You
it's
know?
shaped like an envelope, that's for a reason too, for the easy access, the easy opening, the easy zipping it back up. There's just so many good things about this bag. And there you go. There's the rib system in the bottom to keep the
Yeah.
fish out of that slimy water.
No, it's fantastic. No, it's a great design, man. Most of the bags I've used, yeah, they're just a bag. So you throw the ice in there, the fish is sloshing around on the bottom. They're getting banged up when you're moving them around. With this, at least you have some cushion and to protect the fish, because as you know, the better quality fish is the better dollar you're going to get for it. So you don't want bruising and stuff. And the fact that this thing doesn't sweat, that's huge too. Like you're saying, somebody only has an SUV or something, they got to throw it in the back. They don't want the thing leaking all over, So that's a pretty cool bag, I have to say.
So let's get into fishing. And thank you for talking about the bag. And Dave, thank you for being a big sponsor of my show. I really appreciate everything you do for us. And Don Hansen Day, we gave away some of that product you gave us to the guys that caught the biggest fish. Everything about this product, I stand behind it 100%.
Right
and
on.
Because of this show, we've turned on so many captains, because we bring in, on Fridays, we always bring in industry people, and not one industry person has seen the bag and go, no, I don't want nothing to do with that. They all are like, how do I get Dave's number?
Right.
I need that bag. I need that bag on my boat. And over there in Hawaii, the big thing is, very often the people don't ever get to take the fish. Those fish
Right.
are going to market.
Right.
It's a different industry than out here on the West Coast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on the West Coast, we're not allowed to sell our sport caught fish.
Mhm.
We're not. It's a felony. You're going to go to prison for. You can steal $900 worth of stuff at Walmart, but
Right.
if you get caught selling a fish, you're going to a federal penitentiary for the rest
Yep.
of your life.
Those fish and wildlife guys are serious about it, and if you don't have a permit to sell, man, you're in big trouble. Yeah.
Right.
It's like in Florida with the Florida reef permits and stuff like that, man. If you don't have that stuff, you're in big trouble. So.
Right. But let's talk about your fishery there in Hawaii and how it all works, and how do we go fishing with you, and what are we going to expect to do, and when do you leave? When do you come? I don't know anything about fishing in Hawaii. That's why I was so excited to bring you on the show.
That's awesome. Well, thanks again, Dave. I appreciate you inviting me. So our fishery here is really it's pretty wide open, I got to say. Between the pelagics, you've got your tunas, you've got big eyes, you've got yellowfin, you have skipjack tuna. Of course, we've got the billfish, we've got black, blue, and striped marlin. and we have some swordfish. They're further out in deeper water. Yeah, that's a blue marlin there that we
That's
got.
my favorite kind of marlin, by the way.
Yeah, they're delicious, by the way. People say
Yeah.
how. Yeah, they're great fish. They give a great fight. Plus, like I said, one fish will feed a lot of families. So, but anyways, yeah. So we have short-billed spearfish, and we have then of course all of your bottom fishes, which is a big deal over here, kind of like rockfish over there, vermilions and yellow eyes and that kind of thing. We've got snappers. We've got the queen snappers, and
What's that
of course,
right there?
that looks like that is a oh boy, that's one of those. It looks like maybe
It's so red.
yeah, it is super red, and that's one. In fact, that's Tony Ballum. That's my co-captain. The guy is he is a fish whisperer, I tell you. With 35 plus years of fishing out of Sarasota, Florida, the guy smells where the fish are, and he's just incredible. But anyways, yeah, that's a bottom fish. It's in the grouper family, actually, that one. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, so those are Hawaiian groupers.
Wow.
Hapu'u pu'u is what they're called over here, and those guys get up to about 80 pounds. So we have that, which is the spotted Hawaiian grouper, and then we have a Jewfish, which of course the Jewfish, they can get up several hundred pounds. So and those guys there, yeah, those are Opaka Paka and Onaga. Onaga is a red queen snapper. So, but yeah, what we do is we'll talk to the client. We'll say, what are your expectations? What do you guys really want to do? And yeah, a lot of them are visiting. They want to go for the big game fish because it's the once in a lifetime opportunity they have to go out and get a big tuna or a marlin or something like that. And anyways, it's scorpion fish. That's it. That's what that is. It's a scorpion fish. So we have those guys over here. Thanks, Tony, for that. I appreciate it. Anyways, so yeah, that's Tony Ballum there with the beard. He actually started Malama Charters out for me. I was still on the mainland, and he ran the boat for us. Great story there. He was walking the docks looking for some work, and I got hooked up with him and immediately had a huge connection with him. And so he said, yeah, let me just take this thing and let's work this boat. So I handed him the keys, carte blanche, and yeah, he helped move it along. Unfortunately, COVID, like it did for so many people, kind of killed things for us, basically put us out of business. And coming out of it, I just, again, with that drunk driver hitting and COVID, I mean, that's where people were saying, don't even continue, sell, walk away, turn your back. And I said, no, I can't do this. I love fishing too much. I know this community needs fishing, and so I'm just going to continue. So anyways, that's a wahoo that you just saw there. We have wahoo. We're actually in wahoo season right now, and they come up in numbers, and great tasting fish. They call it ono over here. And yeah, so again, getting back to we talk to our clients and we say, you know what kind of fishing do you really want to do? And so there's a lot of locals that say, hey man, we just want to catch. We want to get some fish in our fridge for our families. And we're like, okay, cool. So we take them to one of the 200 bottom fish spots we've got up and down the Hamakua coast and all the way down to Puna and Cape Kumakahi. And we'll drop them on some fish, and we're pretty successful when it comes to that. I did tons of bottom fishing in California, and so the fishing there for bottom fish is almost identical to how it is over here. So all my knowledge I can pass on here. But to be honest, I didn't really fish for the pelagics. I didn't fish for the tunas and the mahi-mahis and those guys. So I literally had to learn. People say, yeah, why didn't you go out of San Diego and go fishing? Well, I was poor. I was working, 2 jobs, trying to keep the family going. And there's just no way I could have afforded, $300 or $400 for a fishing trip back then. And so I just did my best. I'd take my boat out. We'd go out off into the Catalina Channel, or we'd fish Horseshoe Kelp, or any number of places that way. But I never went for pelagics. So when I got over here, I basically binge watched YouTube. I talked to a lot of people. Tony, of course, Tony fished for pelagics over in Florida. And so he was a huge help for me. He was a great teacher. So we've just been continuing on, man, with fishing these waters. And they're really pristine. I got to say, we've got some incredible numbers of fish over here, certain times a year. And when we're on fish, man, we are on fish. You saw some of those pictures. There's one family we took out on St. Patrick's Day, and we just killed it in an hour and a half. And wow. So once you're on them, you're on them. And one of the things they have over here are fads. I don't know, you guys are familiar with fads, yes. Right? Well, your listeners might not be. And so the state puts out buoys, all right? And they put them in strategic locations. And they basically, they're a fish aggregating device, is what the FAD stands for. And they're a buoy, and they're out in, 1,000 fathoms of water sometimes. And they basically create their own environment with, the bait fish, and then the larger fish, and then the larger fish. And so bait and fish hang out around these things. And they're great places to go trolling for mahi-mahi and marlin and aku, which is the skipjack tuna. So we've got 3 of them out here. The state recently put a couple of them down because they were either cut or they were just, lost from storms. So, but yeah, our fishery over here is really strong. And again, everybody thinks of Kona fishing, Kona fishing tournaments, and the billfish tournaments and marlin and all that. And that's, they've got a lot of that over there. But I mean, remember, we're just on the other side of the island, so we have all those fish too. And so we're trying to put Hilo on the map as a go-to fishing spot. We're one of just a handful of boats that are over here. In fact, I think we're the largest charter fishing boat out of the harbor right now. And if we can get people to understand that, Hilo is just a 4-hour and 45-minute plane ride from Los Angeles. It's a great way to spend a vacation, go out fishing, and check off some of those check marks on your bucket list. So yeah, I mean, it's been a great adventure for us, setting aside all of the hardships we went through, but the payoff is just fantastic. And again, we're about giving back to the community. During COVID, we went out fishing for bottom fish, and we literally come back with hundreds of pounds of fish, and we just hand it off to the community and say, look, you guys are having trouble. Take this fish. At least you can feed your families.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's part of what we're about. Malama means to take care of or to be stewards of. And that's why I named the company Malama Charters, is because it's our responsibility to take care of our oceans and our natural resources and not to abuse them. So our kids could have something for their generation.
And that's something that's very important to focus on for a minute, Jerry, is fishermen. We're the best stewards of our ocean.
Absolutely.
No matter what the teachers are trying to teach our children, right, and all the rhetoric and all the baloney out there.
Yep.
There's no one that cares more about this resource than those of us that make a living on it. Our whole life revolves around the ocean. So we're not going to be the guys out there raping and pillaging and destroying our livelihood.
Sure.
So people need to understand that. Elliot was showing a video a minute ago. I show a black skipjack that we caught down here in Cabo, and it's a viral video that I made. And it talks about how over in Hawaii, where you are, you guys love skipjack. It makes it the phenomenal pokey in the world.
Absolutely. It's the fish of choice for pokey, really.
Mm-hmm. And over here, they don't even like them to touch the boat. And I know it's a different skipjack, but gang, it's a skipjack nonetheless. And every store you go to in Hawaii, every grocery store, every market has poke for
Yep.
sale. It's crazy.
Yep.
And also do something that I was blown away the first time I went there. Spam is a delicacy.
It is.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Every 7-Eleven has a Spam case.
McDonald's, they all have it.
Yeah, it is. It's true. So yeah, I mean, basically those skipjacks they're gold. The locals, I mean, we've literally on the boat filleted them out and with a little shoyu and chopped up some garlic, make poke on the boat. Oh my God, it's out of this world. It's so good. It is just delicious. So
Making my mouth water
I
thinking
know.
about
I'm
it.
getting
Yeah.
hungry.
So good. One of your people asked if we had a bait barge. We don't have any bait barges. We've got to catch all of our own bait, and we do so with sabiki rigs. We catch Opello. We can catch what are the with the long nose. Why am I drawing a blank?
Ballyhoo.
Yeah, ballyhoo. Thank you. And then we have malolo, which are the flying fish too. And those guys, man, that's just ahi candy, So, but yeah, no, we don't have the luxury of bait barges like you do in San Diego. Pull up and get a scoop or two. We don't. So we got to catch our own.
And just to let Matt know and everybody else that's watching, Southern California is a very unique fishery.
It is
not like anywhere else on the planet Earth. There is nowhere where you're going to be able to pull up and buy $50 worth of bait and put it in your bait tank. Everywhere else you have to catch it. Now over in Florida, there's guys that actually catch bait, put it in their bait tank, and then sell it to people. But you're not going to pull up like in San Diego and buy 200 scoops of bait. It's not going to happen. You got to catch your own. We have a very unique fishery on the west coast of California, and it's all about the bait. But it's not like that everywhere else.
That's
I
right.
mean, over there in Hawaii, you can tell the people yourself, but you throw anything on the bottom, those fish are going to inhale it.
Yep.
On those
Absolutely.
bottom spots.
Absolutely.
It's a different fishery gang. I have a question though for you, Jerry. Let's say Bill and I come over there and go fishing because Hawaii gets a bad rap. When you talk to the people that have gone there, and they didn't even let me have any of my fish.
Mm-hmm.
Bill and I come over there and we have a conversation with you and we say, hey, we want to take one of our fish today to the restaurant and cook it. That's not against the law, right?
Absolutely not. And we encourage it. In fact, we had a group from Minnesota that came out, and I think they took home 8 mahi-mahi and a wahoo. And we absolutely, you catch and keep over here. We're just that way because honestly, you're paying us to take you fishing. You're paying us for the fuel and the time. You're basically renting our boat, and we're there to help you. So if you catch something, absolutely get to keep it. And there's restaurants that we can point you to have them cook up your fish for you for a meal. If you're just here visiting and you just want a slab, we'll give you a fillet, and we'll call them up and say, hey, we've got some guests that like to come over and have some dinner. So yeah, they're taken care of.
And that's kind of important to understand.
Absolutely.
Hawaii gets a bad rap. They wouldn't even let me have my fish. That's because you didn't talk to. You didn't talk to. I don't care what boat it is. You have to talk. You have to use your words.
Exactly.
And say, Bill and I are here for a week, but we would like to have a fish dinner or two. I'm not going to tell you guys to not take fish on the airplane back home with you, but really at the end of the day, it'd be cheaper for you to buy the fish at your house than pay for that airfare to fly them. Most people are going to get on a plane. Yeah, Southern California, it's a 5-hour flight, 4 hours, 45 minutes. Most people don't live in California. They're going to take their fish to Nebraska or Kansas.
Right. Absolutely.
That's a 7, 8, 9-hour ride on the airplane with your fish in the belly of the plane.
Yeah.
Gang, but if you're there, take some of that bitchin' fish up to the restaurant and have them.
Absolutely.
But you got to tell you, right, Jerry? Because Jerry and your other captain, Tony, they're looking at the fish that you're not. They don't know you want it. and they're looking at it. They're going to get to sell it, and everybody on the island sells their fish. That's
Right.
how they get to eat. So it's not a negative.
No.
But you got to let Tony or you got to let Jerry know, hey, I'm here. We chartered your boat. Can we have a fish?
Yeah.
And Jerry, you're going to tell them, absolutely, it's your
Absolutely.
fish.
We'll fillet it up for you and take it wherever you're going to take it and get it cooked, or take it back to your, in fact, Tony he just chimed in. He says, there's a lot of nice beach parks that you can go to Walmart, get a bag of charcoal and cook up your fish right on the beach. And, you don't have to have a reservation. You just go there and use the grill, and it's just an amazing experience if you want to do that more local style. And again, there's some charter boats on the other side that refuse to let you have fish. And we've had customers actually come to us and say, man, we went over there, we caught this fish, but they didn't let us keep it. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry for that. He says, man, are you guys the same? I said, absolutely not. No, you get to keep what you catch. And if you can't keep all of it, that's fine. We'll take it and we'll sell it. It'll help us out. But if you want to take it down to the Coconut Grill and have them cook it up for you, or if you want to go down to the beach park and cook it up, by all means.
And then we got a lot of people that listen to this podcast. They're not actually watching it. And I know Elliot's doing everything to promote your business like crazy right now.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you, Elliot.
Help everybody else out that's listening. How do we we're coming to Kona. We're coming to the Big Island. We want to go fishing with you, Jerry. How do we do it? Tell everybody exactly, and go slow because they're driving in their cars and they want to get your phone number.
Yep. So it's easy. You go straight to gofishhilo.com, and that's our website, and that gives you all the breakdown of all the trips we offer. We don't just offer fishing. We do whale watching during humpback season. We've got some coastal and some bay tours that we do for people if they're not into the fishing. But yeah, gofishhilo.com, or look up Malama Charters on the web. Just a Google search and we'll come up. Facebook, Malama Charters on Facebook is just type it in and we'll pop up. And we're on Instagram also, Malama Charters. And actually, it's pretty easy. I spent a lot of time and a lot of money trying to get us placed on the internet, ranked highly so that we come up. You can type in Sport Fishing Hilo. Or Hilo Fishing, and we'll come up. There's a couple of sites that actually use us as their sport fishing go-to. So it should be pretty easy to find us if you're coming over here. Now, one thing I want to be fully transparent about is, we've got a little bit more weather on this side of the island than Kona does. So that kind of puts a little hamper on us once in a while, but it doesn't mean we can't go out and go fishing most of the time. So if there is going to be, problem, we'll notify you well in advance so you can make other plans. But having said that, we still get out and still get lots of fish for people.
And that's Captain Tony or yourself. Are you guys' phone numbers available on those websites? Can they
absolutely are. Yeah. We've got a couple phone numbers. We've got a local number that you can call, and we've got there it is. Actually, no, that's the fish booker. That's one of the sites that uses us. But our phone number is it's an 808 number, and let me see. There it is. It's 808-217-6613. That's the local number, and you can call in on that, and we'll answer usually within 30 minutes to an hour, if not right away. And so again, just you can call for information. We'll try and help you figure out your trip if you want to, or if if there's something else you're looking for, we'll help you with that too. That's just how we are. We want to be as helpful and resourceful for you as we can be. So. Yeah, so Malama Charters in Hilo, Hawaii. They used to have direct flights right into Hilo, but after COVID, they don't. So you got to usually fly into Honolulu first, and then from Honolulu catch a puddle jumper over to Hilo. But I've flown round trip. From Kona, you can go into Kona, and $250, $300 will get you a round trip ticket. Certain times of the year, during summer it's peak season, so it's about $450. But it's not a lot of money if you consider, what some of the other boats are charging. Even in California and San Diego, they're you could fly out here, catch an Airbnb, go fishing with us for a couple $1,000s. So, yeah.
Very reasonable.
Gang, real quick, I'm going to go over that phone number again with you guys, real quick and nice and slow. 808 217 6613. It's important to slow it down so people can get it, because a lot of people are wanting to get that number, and also we'll be posting it. And then Jerry, what I want, and I tell everybody that comes on the show, and those of you that have never seen the show and you're on here now watching because Jerry's here, and I understand he's got a great following. We do this show Monday through Fridays at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time every day, Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock.
Great show, too. Great show.
It's a really spectacular way to get information. This guy right here is my guest every Wednesday. If you want to know about surf fishing, this is the man. We break it down. He makes it so that you understand. We've changed a lot of people's lives with the surf fishing thing because it doesn't cost a lot of money. But I want everybody to understand that this show is on Monday through Fridays at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time live. I've been doing it for 4 years now. I don't miss a day. If I do, I'll do it later at night because I'm traveling or whatever, but I try not to miss a day. It's a spectacular way to learn more about fishing. It's a really positive show, though. If you want to,
yes, it is.
There's other places to go. You're not going to get your fill of negativeness here. I'm sorry. You have to go.
Well, and the other thing you do is you share so much knowledge too, new techniques, and you interview people from different areas. They've got their input, and it's just such a plethora of information. I mean, your site, you have hundreds and hundreds of videos that people can go to and refer, back to, oh man, what's the best bait to use for sand bass? Or, how do I catch calico, when they're not biting? And you've got stuff there that they can pull up and watch. And it's just a great fishing resource for the fishing community. And it doesn't matter where you're at. Fish they have to eat, right? So you just figure out what they want to eat, how they want to eat, and then you catch them. I mean, it's not that difficult. I mean, everybody says, yeah, fishing can really suck and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, consider it a challenge, gather your information. And like I said, on your site, you've got anything and everything there is to know about at least West Coast fishing that I've seen. So, I mean, it's a great resource for people. When I found out about it, I'm like, man, this is fantastic that there's actually a place like this that I can go to and get all this information. So, Dave, you're doing a great thing, and I love your interviews with people and captains, and it's great resource for people.
Thank you very much, Jerry. You know what's funny? Bill and I were going to do you for like a half an hour, and then Bill and I were going to do. We already blew an hour here, Jerry.
That's crazy.
We didn't even really talk about. We didn't get into the nitty gritty, but we covered a lot of really cool stuff.
Sure.
Gang,
yeah.
If you're going to Hawaii, you want to call. You want to give them a call. You want to talk to Tony, or you want to talk to Jerry. These guys are going to give you the real, honest to God, what's going on over there. They're going to not allow you to go fish for stuff that isn't there. Where a lot of the charter boats over there, they'll be more than happy to take your money. You want to go catch a marlin? They'll take your money. They're not going to tell you there are no marlin right now. Jerry's going to be honest. He's going to tell you. Matt, my good friend Matt, super good human being, Matt Ryan. He wanted to know, do you have any type of fish? Because you grew up in Southern California. Do you have anything that's going to be equivalent to calico bass fishing over there?
Oh, gosh. We really don't, because we don't have kelp over here. And so, of course, that's their environment is kelp. So the only thing I can think of that it might come close to is maybe reef fishing. There's certain
Right.
types of reef fish like parrotfish you can catch. There's the jacks. We do have giant trevallies over here, which a lot of times they have these tournaments for the biggest GT you can catch, which some of them are well over 100 pounds. And then those types of fish, reef fishes, like I said, that's really the closest thing we have. And yeah, I mean that's about it. Unfortunately, no type of kelp or seaweed over here for that type of environment for fish to live in, like the wrasses and things like that. So yeah,
But of course, you have fantastic shore fishing over there, and you
yes,
have sergeant fish. I believe
yep,
there's 17 variety of wrasse. It's
wrasse, yeah,
fantastic fishing from shore over there, and I would suggest to everybody who's going to fish from shore over there to spend $6.95 or $8.95
yeah,
on an ID book
yeah,
for fish, because you will
absolutely,
get so many variety. I mean, it's like fishing in an aquarium. There's such beautiful, colorful fish, and I used to just take my camera and take a picture and then go
yeah,
home, go back to my room at night and sit on the lanai and look up what they were. So I actually
right.
ended up just getting a small book to carry with me. So when I caught them, before I let them go, I'd have an idea of what I was catching that day. Just
Absolutely. That's a
absolutely.
great advice there. Great advice, because we have so many different tropical fish over here, and to have a guide to be able to identify them is real important too, because one, you're learning about the environment and the fish that are here, and two, a lot of times they'll tell you what fish you can and can't eat. We have what they call ciguatero over here, and so there's certain fish that have that you don't want to be eating because they can make you really sick. So it's important also that you know what fish you can and cannot eat. For example, there's a spotted, not a grouper, but it's in the snapper family, and you don't want to be eating those guys because they have the ciguatera, and it's kind of like what happens with crab with the red
Mhm.
tide. You don't want to be eating the Dungeness crab over there at certain times of the year. So it's the same
And,
type.
and and is it smart to go to a local tackle shop? I mean, of course,
Absolutely.
with you will learn that. But if you were to come over and want to go shore fishing, it's smart to go to a local tackle shop, ask them what you might want to keep and throw back.
Absolutely. We have one of the greatest fishing tackle stores here. It's S. Tokunaga. It's here in Hilo. It's huge, and it's got anything and everything you want for fishing, any type of fishing, shore fishing, boat fishing, trolling. And they've been around 104 years. So that says
Wow.
something. Yeah, we got Walmart. You can walk in on Walmart and choose for yourself. But you know what? It really pays if you go into a place like that and talk to the people and find out what to use for what types of fish and what types of fish you're going to want to catch. And,
Well,
says something about the local business, right?
mhm.
Try to supporting our local economy here. But even further than that, for your safety and to really target what type of fishing you want to do. If you want to fish off the rocks or off the cliffs, they'll tell you exactly what gear you want, what type of fish you're going to catch, and what type of bait you're going to need. And so, yeah, it definitely pays to walk into a local tackle shop wherever you're fishing and talk to the people there.
And I also noticed what is so great is that in those tackle shops, they have all kinds of tackle from Korea and Japan that I had never seen before. And of course, we in the surf here, we found these eyeless hooks that we use a little
Yep.
motorized, little battery powered unit to tie. Which, if you get a bite, you have a fish.
Right.
So there's so much to learn there. So many interesting, new and different things. I mean, the ABC store has marlin jerky and things
Right.
that you would never see here
Right.
in
Right.
California.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's
And
really fantastic.
our Walmart has that stuff too. We don't have an ABC store over in here in Hawaii, Hilo. Over in the Kona side, they got a dozen of them. But over here in Hilo, there's local shops that sell locally made dried aku, dried skipjack. Oh, just it's delicious, and dried marlin and things like that. Like again, you can even go into Walmart and buy it there at Walmart, and it's locally made, locally packaged, local fish. And so not only are you helping out the locals, but you're getting the best top grade food you could ever eat. It's amazing, the stuff here. And oh, incidentally, Ken said it's the Roy, ROI. That's that invasive fish that I was talking about that you don't want to eat. People catch them all the time. And they're like, oh, this is great. You know, we're going to take it home, cook it. Don't eat them. They're just full of that ciguatera. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. And then one of our buddies, Devin Cruz, wanted to know, do you know anything about the Hawaiian Fishing News magazine?
Yeah, it's still around. We do still have that. It's that we have a couple of them. It's Hawaiian Fishing News and Lavaia, which is fishing in Hawaiian. And so those magazines are around. You can look them up on the internet, and they'll mail them to you. And definitely, you know, you can keep up on the latest. They're a monthly subscription thing. So, but yeah, they're around still. You can go into the stores and pick them up locally here.
And then my good buddy Matt has another question. I think I know the answer, but what does an out-of-state fishing license cost?
Big zero. We don't have fishing licenses here.
Right.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, I think the only place in Hawaii you need a fishing license is inland freshwater.
Yep. Inland freshwater is the only place. And honestly, you know, the NOAA and the Department of Fish and Wildlife, they haven't gotten their paws into the claws into shutting down fisheries. I mean, we do have some MPAs, right? But it's just amazing. The fishing is just wide open over here. You know, yeah, we do have lobster season, right? You want them to reproduce. But the thing of it is, you know, there's size and limits. They just don't have them over here like California. It's crazy.
And that's why I wanted to hit that question. I knew the answer to it, but I thought that would be amazing for everybody here in California that's watching it across the United States. We get pounded by closures every 15 minutes. There's a brand new closure in California and Bill and I, we sat on CCA. We're very involved. We can't even keep up with it, Jerry. It is.
I know. It's awful.
The amount of closures, the amount of stoppage. I was listening to Elon Musk this morning talking about California, and he said, the problem with California is California has made every single thing illegal.
Right, exactly. That's awful.
So that's why he took his ball and went to another state, because we have Das Governor that has decided that every single thing is illegal. So you can't even put a nail in a piece of wood because it's illegally put in there. So it's very, very crazy. Plus, but the one thing that isn't illegal is stealing.
Right.
That's
men
and women's bathrooms and stealing, perfectly fine.
That's fine, but anything else is against the law, which is just crazy.
It's awful. It's awful. I mean, you know, you hear about these stories of people busting into Coach and stealing bags and just running off, or Walmart having to, you know, watch their self-checkout because they're losing millions of dollars every year of people just walking out with stuff. It's terrible. I mean, just awful. It's awful.
It's the governor, though.
Yeah.
He doesn't allow you to enforce anything to do with anything real, except guys like Bill, Jerry, myself, Elon Musk, people that are trying to enhance the economy and do things that will actually create jobs. That's against the law.
Right.
And it's just the craziest thing. But I wanted everybody to understand you can go to Hawaii and go fishing without a fishing license. How rad is that?
Awesome.
It's one of the last places on earth that you're able to do that, really. And that's part of the reason why I got out of California. I mean, it was really tough leaving. I love California, but you know, the politics and stuff going on over there, I couldn't handle it anymore. I said, no, you know what? I'm done. I am done with this. So I come over here, and it's like you can actually take a deep breath without somebody saying something to you. You know, it's amazing. It really is.
It's nice to go fishing without feeling guilty.
Right, exactly. And that's the whole thing, you know. Let's go do stuff. And yeah, I understand there's some people that don't understand about conservation, and they're taking small catch, and you know, like the calico bass, it takes them forever to grow. So throw those guys back, let them reproduce, you know. and certain
No,
types of
it
rockfish.
doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's a
Yeah.
big fantasy, Gavin.
Yeah.
That's created by Gavin. It doesn't take forever. Calico bass are fine. They've never been commercially fished.
Yeah,
It's
that's
okay
true.
to eat calico bass home and eat it. You're not a criminal, Jerry.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll stop.
Don't help create closures.
See
Well,
what they do to us?
I know. They brainwash us.
They
Just
get
like
us all
just,
feeling guilty about
Hello.
stuff, you know?
yeah.
And then we start questioning ourselves
Right.
about whether it's right or wrong, even though we spent our whole life doing it the
Well,
other way,
That's
which was
it.
fine.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
you
it.
know what? Captain Dave's right here to tell everybody truth. It might not be the truth you like, but it is the truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I try to protect my calico bass. That's my very most favorite fish to catch.
I
love the way they taste. And
yes.
they don't take forever to grow. In 4 years, they're a mature 12-inch calico. There was a ton of science done. That's
Okay.
why it was set up for 12 inches. After we left the 12-inch size limit and we created this 14, that was done with zero science. And all of this is rhetoric and all this is baloney and it's not real. And I'm sorry, I get real defensive about my calico bass. They're my very most favorite fish in the whole world.
Yeah, they are awesome.
There's a zillion of them. If you ever put your head underwater, the whole ocean's brown.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. They've never been commercially fished. What they did, though, is they did this science. There's one of my favorite fish in the world. But they did this science when all we have to fish with is for our 8-inch sardines, and we're trying to catch a 12-inch fish with an 8-inch sardine. It's never going to work.
Right.
That's not going to work.
Exactly.
But calico bass are a phenomenal fish to eat, but we're going to lose them here real soon. It's going to be gone. They're going to take it away. And so we have to be very, very careful, gang, whenever we say, and we get a ton of views. So that's why, and I love you, Jerry, and I'm not trying to make you look bad here, but when they hear us talk, they grab that. The enviros, they grab that. So, Jerry, you were saying that about the bass, and they go, oh, this is going to be an easy fish for us to take because fishermen can't agree on it. We don't need another closure of any type of fish in the whole world. There doesn't need to be another closure. Even the great Jerry is not a good enough fisherman to affect the population of fish in the ocean with the fishing
You're right.
pole.
You're right.
So-
because they're not commercially fished. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? It's unfortunate. It's like they brainwash us, right?
Yes.
They tell us, oh, the science says this and the science says that. Just like the yellow eye rockfish, right? They shut down yellow eye rockfish in Northern California for 5 or 6 years. And by the time they opened it back up, there were so many damn yellow eye rockfish. That's all you could catch. It's amazing.
Exactly.
You know, and so these fish, they will rebound. And even then, sometimes the science, it lies. It wants you to believe one thing. And because they do a specific study on one thing in a certain environment at a certain time, you know, they're saying, oh, yeah, there's not enough fish, just like the cod on the East Coast, right? You know, it's back and forth and back and forth. So if you really do want the truth, and Dave, I guess you're right, talk to the fishermen, talk to the people that are out there all the time. Then that's where you're going to find out the truth.
I had Wayne Coda with me on the Don Hansen Day the other day, and we were talking, and I'm not trying to throw you under the bus or nothing here, Wayne, but we were talking, and the people that are doing the science, they're getting paid a phenomenal amount of money by the environment.
It's
they're
insane.
Getting paid to come up with the study that fits their narrative, gang.
Right.
So you understand. The biggest, I'm sorry, Noah is on the take like nobody's business. If you believe,
I know.
They came out and they actually exposed themselves a little bit in their last notice. They said, oh, wait a minute, the numbers we're coming out with aren't really real.
Yeah.
And you're like, did everybody just hear that? And then nobody sees it. They only see the negative garbage that comes out of their mouth. But Noah is getting paid off by the enviros like nobody's been. And they're the ones that are supposed to protect us. When the guys that are supposed to protect us are getting paid by the guys that want to destroy us, that's when you have to wake up and say, oh, wow, everything we're being told is a lie. And here's something that Paul Hebert left me with the other day.
The wind farms.
All these whales and
Oh
dolphins
my God,
are dying.
it's
Yeah,
horrible.
and
Absolutely atrocious.
Where's the biggest taker of enviro money on the planet? Where's Greenpeace?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Where are they?
Where's the nature
Exactly.
Where's all of them?
What,
You know, again, that's a lie. That's the lie that America's been sold. All right. These wind
Absolutely.
farms are going to be doing this, and they're going to green energy, and you know, each one of those things has between 400 and 500 gallons of oil in it. What happens when these things break down and they leak oil into the environment, which happens all the time? And then these whales, it's like having heavy metal music playing in a small room, blasting your ears 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. These whales can't handle those frequencies that these things are putting out. People don't know that. They just believe what people are telling them, what the news is saying. Oh, this is great energy.
Green energy.
It's horrible. People, do your research before you believe what the news tells you. That's all I got to say.
And my buddy Bill Varney right here opened my eyes to something like 9 months ago. He said, Dave, you know what it takes to make a battery? I'm like, not really.
Yeah.
And he goes, cobalt.
That's
and
right.
He goes, do you know where that comes from? And I'm all, no. He goes, it comes from mines in Africa because we would never mine it in the United States because it's environmentally unsafe.
Right.
But in Africa, the adults won't go in there because you're going to die. So what do? They send their babies in there.
It's horrible.
And like Bill Varney said, how many babies have to die before you understand that it's not green energy? How many?
Absolutely.
We just want to know the number. Be honest with us. Tell us how many children need to die before you, and we're good with that. We just want to know the number. I mean, let's be honest.
And that's it. I mean, you know, we can get political about all this stuff, and bottom line is just educate yourself about it. I mean, electric cars. What a great idea. Electric cars. Yeah, they're green. No, they're not. Do you realize how much strip mining it takes? How many tons of energy and diesel are put out to just get 1 pound of lithium for these electric cars? Hello. And then we've got to put more money into the generating plants so we can charge the electric cars. I mean,
absolutely. And of course, you know, when you think about the generation of electricity, so if the electricity takes 1,000 tons of coal to generate, because the electrical lines are so inefficient, by the time it gets to its user, it's 70 to 80%. So you've taken an extra 200,000 tons of coal to make what gasoline would do, or petroleum or natural gas, or at a much lower level. So you can't displace something, especially in another state like Arizona, and say you guys burn all the coal and send all your electricity to us, where we're getting 60% of what you made. So
I know. And you know what? We can go on and on and on. And you know, maybe we should circle back. Bottom line, you know, fishing is our life. It's your life. Okay. Let's make it the lives of other people too. Let's invite them. Let's share this with people. And let's just, you know, let's make it a positive thing. Like you said, invite these kids over, let them bring their phones. That's fine. So you get a group of 10 kids, maybe 5 of them are absolutely so enthralled with it, they're going to stick with it for the rest of their life. Right. But let's expose people to fishing. Even, you know, we've had people that have come over on a trip that have never fished before. And we've shown them fishing. They've caught fish and they're like, oh my God, I've got to do this again. Right. So anyways, it's a great thing that we can share with other people. It's not that expensive. Like you say, you can go to Walmart, buy a rod for $30, fish off the beach, and catch some wrasses or catch some whatever, you know, and make it a part of your life. I mean, people get so stuck in a groove with work and life that they forget about having fun in life. And this is one thing that people can do that doesn't take a lot of effort.
Absolutely. Fishing is and it's so fun. I mean, Bill and I are sitting here listening and talking with you, Jerry, and the ocean's right behind us, and we're both hearing it, and we know that we're just 1 minute away from making another cast. We've never made another cast. We always want one more cast.
One more.
Yeah.
One more cast. One more thing I know we got to get going, but Do we need to bring our own rods, or do you have everything?
Nope, just bring yourselves. We've got snacks and drinks on board. We've got some really good equipment. We've got 2-speed pens on board. We've got electric reels if you want to do bottom fishing. You know, we're fishing 500-600 feet. Nice to push a button. And, you know, like the old days, my dad used to take me up to Port Hueneme, and I'd have that 6/0 with the big crank on it. And, you know, I'm here 11 years old cranking up 600 feet worth of line, and a half hour later it seemed like finally get something. But no, nowadays you push a button and it comes up and makes it easy. So yeah, no, you don't need anything. Just, you know, light rain jacket, maybe some snacks if you want. You can even bring a cooler on board so you can put your fish in the cooler. Whatever you want, we got it. We'll take care of you. That's one thing we like to do, is make it simple for people.
And Jerry, how long are your trips?
You know, anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. Just depends on what you want to do. We've actually talked about doing some overnight trips down south to the Puna coastline, Pohiki, for bottom fish and for ahi tuna and ono down there. So we may be coming up with a 2-day trip overnight. But for the most part, we got 4, 6, and 8 hour trips for fishing, and we can usually do pretty good. Even on a 4 hour, if the tides and the currents are good, we can usually pick up some fish for you guys.
And on an overnight trip, would you tuck yourself into a nice secluded bay at night to sleep, or do you float out on the open ocean? How does that work?
Well, that's a great question. What we do is we'll throw out a parachute. So we're a few miles offshore. Obviously, you have people that are on watch overnight, but yeah, we'll throw out a parachute, and usually we don't drift too much, maybe a mile and a half during the night. It's not too bad. So we can always get back on spot real quick.
That's great.
I mean, keep in mind, we've got deep water over here just offshore. I mean, you know, you're in 6,000 feet of water, just, you know, a short drive offshore. So
too deep to anchor.
Yeah, way too deep to anchor. That's why we throw a chute out.
Well, Jerry, thank you very much. We went way over the hour, but
sorry about that.
No, it's not. It's good. We enjoyed your company today, and we can keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
But we got stuff. Bill and I have to go check out the beach here right now. I mean, I'm sorry, everybody, but we have to go check out the beach.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
That's right. Our bait's waiting for us.
And we got to go check back in with Justin, because he's at Catalina right now. So we're going to go back to live with our buddy Justin over there fishing Catalina with live squid today. Jerry, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Dave.
I want to tell you is jump on the comment after the show. Jump on the comments. We didn't hit everybody. There's a lot of people that want to talk to you. Get on the comments, go on our Facebook and look, and go on YouTube and look at all the comments and talk to all the people. They all are dying to talk to you. Thank you very much. Aloha from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you coming on the show today. Bill and I had a great time with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you too.
Hello,
and please, if you guys ever make it over, please, I will take you out fishing in a heartbeat and show you our side of the island and the way that we do it.
Can we keep our fish?
Absolutely. 100%.
All right, you guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show today. I appreciate
Dave, thank you guys so much for taking the time and reaching out to us and giving me this opportunity to share our world with you guys over there.
Awesome.
And as soon as things start happening over there, or maybe at the end of the season, we'll touch base again and bring you back on the show, because we had a lot of people watching today. So thank you very, very much.
And thank you guys. Have a blessed day and enjoy your day. And thanks again, Dave, for